today we are continuing our exploration of Paulo Coelho's book, The Alchemist, and specifically we're going to be looking at some of the characters that the boy meets on his hero's journey. Welcome to the Stories Cafe podcast, the espresso version of Stories Cafe, offering quick, enriching moments of reflection on literature, cinema, archetypes, philosophy, and the art of living deliberately. Just like a perfectly crafted espresso at a Parisian cafe, each episode is a brief pause for you to submerge yourself in something invigorating and fulfilling. I'm Annette Wernblad, course creator, internationally published author, and wanderer at heart. So cozy up as we explore the powerful world of stories, how they shape our lives, and teach us the art of living deliberately. So we're going to go into the wisdom of this story. What is it actually that it's telling us? And in order to do that, I want to look at some of the characters he meets, because that's where the real wisdom is, in what they're telling him and teaching him, and in what he is thinking along the way. Try to feel which of these messages seem more important to you. What rings a bell for you and feels important? And even if you have a pen and paper next to you, maybe note it down. So it is structured like a journey, and every stop he meets several people, and each of these people teaches him something. Again, a classic thing in the hero's journey, that they can be seen as archetypes, like helpers or opponents in his journey. And even actually, if you see it as the hero's journey, even a person who steals his money actually helps him, because he removes the temptation. He forces him to go forward on the journey. So the different archetypes he meets. The first one is the old woman. And the old woman is the classic herald, that we start by seeing the hero in his usual normal surroundings, classic hero's journey, and then comes the call to adventure. And the call to adventure, of course, comes from his dream. So the old woman brings the call to adventure. No, the way to interpret that dream, it means what it says. You have to set out on that journey. And here's one of the quotes, one of the things she says to him. It is a dream in the language of the world. And the really interesting thing about the way she puts it is that already at the beginning, she speaks about the language of the world, which is, so he doesn't know what that means. And he has to learn along the way, what is the language of the world? And the strange things that all the characters that he meets throughout his journey, they all speak in the same language. And sometimes he even thinks that the way they smile looks exactly the same. It is a dream in the language of the world. And this is my interpretation. You must go to the pyramids in Egypt. I've never heard of them, but if it was a child who showed them to you, they exist. There you will find a treasure that will make you a rich man. So then he feels so cheated. She just said the obvious thing. So he sits outside, meets the King of Salem. That is the part of the hero's journey that we call the meeting with a mentor. So the call to adventure, the hero's always torn. I could stay here, or I could go on that call to adventure. So he becomes the mentor character that the boy always meets. And the story says that the mentor gives him a piece of advice or a physical thing that will help him through the journey. And this mentor, of course, gives him both a lot of advice, and he gives him the white stone and the black stone. So the boy is a little bit suspicious. So he says, "Why would a king be talking with a shepherd?" the boy asked, awed and embarrassed. "For several reasons. But let's say that the most important is that you have to succeed in discovering your personal legend." And notice that the gypsy woman was more interested in him finding the treasure, whereas the king is more interested in him succeeding in discovering his personal legend. Those are two different things. So the boy says, "Why do you want 10% of my sheep?" The gypsy woman wanted 10% of the treasure. And then the king says to him, it's not good practice when you're going out on your personal legend to give away something you don't have yet, because that's demotivating, because you already owe some of it to someone else. So I want 10% of your sheep now. So let's say the most important is that you have to succeed in discovering your personal legend. So then the king tells him that when we're children, we all know what our personal legend is, and we all are excited to go out and discover more. But then a force sets in as we get older that tells us, oh no, it doesn't matter. I should stay with my sheep, or I should stay with the things I own, or the people I'm connected to. So we start telling ourselves that the personal legend is not important. And then the king continues, it's a force that appears to be negative, but actually shows you how to realize your personal legend. It prepares your spirit, and you will, because there's one great truth on this planet. Whoever you are, or whatever it is that you do, when you really want something, it's because that desire originated in the soul of the universe. It's your mission on earth. And I'm just going to stop with that one for a little bit to really have you take that in. Whoever you are, or whatever it is that you do, when you really want something, it's because that desire originated in the soul of the universe. It is your mission on earth. So the very concept of desire, remember we talked about that last month, allowing yourself to wish for things? There's a great power in feeling your own wishes and desires. When you really want something, it's because that desire originated in the soul of the universe. It is your mission on earth. So the boy says, even when all you want to do is travel, or marry the daughter of a textile merchant, yes, or even search for treasure, the soul of the world is nourished by people's happiness, and also by unhappiness, envy, and jealousy. To realize one's personal legend is a person's only real obligation. All things are one. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. It's a very interesting thing. To realize one's personal legend is a person's only real obligation. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. This is one of the sentences that's often, I hope I don't offend anyone, misused in so-called law of attraction circles, because, and it's something, what I'm saying now is actually something that the alchemist himself addresses later on. It's so easy to misunderstand what's being said. If you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. So it's used, in my opinion, misused in saying, if you really want, an expensive car, or to make millions of dollars, or achieve things, or have a private jet, whatever, if you really want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. But this is a very spiritual book. So it's about wanting something on a much deeper level. It's not about, this book is not about material possessions, as we see in the boy constantly having everything he owns stolen, and in the alchemist who can turn lead into gold, not really being interested in the gold as material riches. This is about something else when you want something. Does that make sense? Just think about it. I say this all the time. It's about, what do you really want? Because the whole manifesting, it seems so sort of privileged Western world, first world kind of thing, that I can attract and manifest anything I want. This is not what this book is about. So, I hate it when that quote is misused. When you want something, all the universe conspire. And I don't think the universe is going to conspire in helping you to get a Ferrari, to be honest. I mean, I don't, but some of you may, and I don't mean to offend anyone. So that's the King of Salem.
Next week, we'll continue our exploration of the alchemist by looking at a few more of the interesting archetypal characters that the boy meets in the course of his journey. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your espresso break and learned something new. If you're eager to dive deeper into the world of stories and ideas, be sure to hit the follow button in Spotify or the plus button in Apple Podcasts so that you get each new episode straight to your podcast app. You can also visit us at Stories Cafe. Just go to stories-cafe.com. There you can explore free content for a taste of what we offer, or if you're ready for more, a paid membership unlocks in-depth discussions, full access to our archives, and a vibrant community of fellow story enthusiasts. I am so thrilled to have you here, and I look forward to welcoming you back to the Stories Cafe soon.